Okay, hello, and good evening all, good evening, and welcome to Suzerain. We're back again, we're back in Swordland, folks, ready to do our duty. Hello Cham, good evening, hello Ollie, welcome. Lucky number 11, remind me, somebody just put something in a chat about lucky number 11, and I kind of remember watching that film, but for the life of me, can I remember who was in it? What it was about? Was it Keanu Reeves? Lucky number 11. Freeman. I remember Freeman being... Oh, yes, Freeman was in it. Who else was in it? Josh Hartnett, that's the guy. That's the fella. Whatever happened to him? He was in a lot of films and then just disappeared. I mean, he's still alive, I assume. He can't be that old. He must be, what, like, probably 50 now or so? Anyway, yeah, he just kind of went off the scene, didn't he? Just vanished. Family and kids. Happens to us all. Apart from me, no family and kids for me. Well, family, but no kids. Mr. Pete, good evening, sir. Welcome. Right, we can't flim-flam for too long because we've got countries to run. All right, and running a country is far more interesting than anything I've got to say. So we'll hang fire on that one. Right, continue on. Let's see where we left off. Remind ourselves. What was the last thing we did? Can anybody remember? Can't remember. It'll come back to us, I'm sure. We were talking about doing stuff. We went for a meal with the bigwigs, I seem to recall, at some point. That wasn't the very last thing we did, was it? Was that the very last thing? What's this? We were sorting out bits and bats to do with the Constitution. Still haven't had our conversation with our sort of wing leaders yet. That's going to be interesting. Right, but there was loads of news to look at. There was loads of these to look at, and I did seem to say, I remember saying actually now that it's, the budget, that was the big thing. The budget, yes, that was it. That was taxing our brain a bit. No pun intended there. Yeah, the budget. And we were quite happy with what we did with the budget. The military budget, phew, down the Swanee. The education budget, phew, up it goes. And it's quite fitting because we've just had our budget here in the UK, the proper full budget, and it's just all smoke and mirrors, really. Have 2p out the pound off your national insurance contributions. Oh, we're putting money back in your pocket. Well, actually, you're not really, because you've frozen the tax thresholds until 2028. So you're capturing more people in income tax. You're capturing more people in higher rate tax as their wages go up. You're not really putting money in people's pockets, are you? No, you're not. Anyway, see, you start giving me a game that's about politics, and I start talking politics. I'm not an expert in politics, but I start talking a little bit about it, and I don't like it because I flipping hate politics. But I love this game, it's really bizarre. And I like democracy as well. Maybe deep down I like politics, I'm just trying to convince myself I don't. Maybe I do. Maybe I do like politics after all, I don't know. Anyway, what I don't like is politicians. Because they're all set of liars. Or they might not be liars, but they might be the kind of people that don't tell you the whole truth. Which is akin to lying if you ask me. Anyway, semantics I suppose. Without further ado, we're just going to check the briefings, see if there's anything of interest, and then we're going to check the papers to see what they're saying about us, any slander. We might sue them, get our personal income up, and then we'll get to business, whatever business happens to be, and then we're good to go. So let's start from good old England. It's a very weird set of... It's very strange when you see like three consonants together. It's very rare in a word you get three consonants like that. You know, England. It's a bit of a mouthful. Right, I'm kicking my slippers off because clearly it's time for action. Right, the one bit of flim-flam. I can't send you away with absolutely nothing. Hello, Jet. Welcome. I am a big fan of root beer. Massive fan of root beer. Go to America, get it all over the place. It's lovely, delicious stuff. It's a acquired taste. Oh, you've popped in to say hello and you're off to work. Well, enjoy your work, whatever it is you do. It's a strange thing to say, but some people do enjoy their work. I mean, I do occasionally enjoy going to work. Not all the time, because I've got other things I could be doing with my time. But I don't dislike my job. But anyway, have a good one, sir. Yeah, so this stuff, really nice. Root beer. Acquired taste. Several people don't like it. Lots of people do. I think it's kind of one of those kind of Marmite-y things. You either really love it, or you just really dislike it. And I'm in the love it camp. So, my mother, bless her, she knows I love root beer, so she bought some. So I looked at it, I was like, oh, it's root beer. Oh, my God, it's root beer. And then I saw it was root beer with no added sugar. The best part of root beer is it's got 50,000 teaspoons of sugar in it. That's why it's so delicious. So root beer without the sugar tastes a root beery taste, but not got the full kick. Not bad. But when it's something that's got no added sugar in it, I don't know about anybody else, but I can taste straight away the sweetness. And I don't like that in drinks. I like to taste sugar, not sweetness, thanks. The sweetness tastes horrible. What sweeteners in it? Let's have a look, because a lot of these sweeteners are very bad for you. Phenylalanine. It's probably one of the worst ones. Sucralose. It's not as bad. Phenylalanine. That's a bad one. A lot of the drinks actually removed that many years ago because there were links to cancer. It's never been 100% proven, but yeah. Aspartame. It's another bad one. Another bad one, that one. Yeah. I've had this sat down there for about a week. That's why I've not drunk it. But anyway, there you go. Just some random tidbits of information for you in case you're interested. Clearly not. But anyway, we are going to read the news reports. Okay, the military equipment is apparently outdated. The General Staff has performed an analysis on our borders to assess our military defence capabilities. We know this. Who has paid these people to do an analysis when we already knew our equipment was out of date? We could have told them that when we took over as president. There's no need to waste your time conducting analysis on the situation. Just look at the weapons in your store and see them falling to bits. Blow the dust off them, and then you'll realise, actually, they're knackered. You know, this is what we're talking about. When we were talking in the last session, I seem to recall about budgets. We were talking about efficiency savings. This kind of nonsense needs to be cut out at source. We're having words with that fella who's our Mr. General Man. This, waste of money. Waste of cash. Who sanctioned an analysis of that? Narbel, education in the rural regions require improvements, and we are improving them slowly but surely. We have pumped money into this, so this will not be for long. Or maybe it will, because I don't think these kind of changes happen overnight. You know, we've given the money, now they have to decide how to spend the money, then they have to actually spend the money, and then it has to take time to be implemented, the policies, and then it has to take effect. So it's not going to be instantaneous, but hey, maybe at the end of our term we should be able to see an improvement here. Literacy rate currently stands at 80%, while rural regions is 64. I mean, 64 is probably very low, to be fair. I was going to say it's not that bad, is it? But it is, really. 64% of people can read. That's pretty low. Pretty low. How's my mother? She's doing fine. She's doing fine. Usual aches and pains at her age, of course, you know. But we're going on holiday in 13 days. So she's a bit excited. Although she's checking the weather reports for Turkey, and the weather reports for Turkey this week, as I said last week, is not good. Bit nippy. So we're hoping that it's going to pick up for 2 weeks' time, back to 18 degrees or so, which is bearable. You know, bearable. So yeah, looking good. We're looking forward to that. And before then, I'm gonna take her out. It's Mother's Day, folks. Don't forget. Not the Sunday coming, but the Sunday after, the 12th, I believe it is. It's Mother's Day, so we're off for lunch. Be nice. Be nice indeed. Give me 1 second, just. Right, so we've got the education improvements on the way. No need to panic, no need to fear. Massive network of BFF priests discovered. Didn't we see this last time? Or something similar. Large-scale religious network of the BFF. Under the guise of state-sanctioned priesthood, the BFF has recruited hundreds and possibly thousands of Golkondist worshippers to join the militant group and converted hundreds of Neurity worshippers to the sect of Golkondism. A dozen arrests were made, but since most police officers don't speak Bluedish, it will be difficult to find the actual ringleader priests of the network. And a request was made to ban Bluedish as a language from the sanctuaries. Governor Bron also requested Golkondism to be banned as a religion. Oh dear, it's all kicking off there. Right, anything else in the local news? Yes, one more. We got news in Benfey. What's happening in Benfey? We have been receiving reports about the capacity of the regional airport. He wants to. The mayor wants an international airport in the city. Are you having a laugh? We haven't got funds for international airports, I'm afraid. That's going to have to be on the back burner, that one. People are going to have to get to us by other transportation methods, I'm afraid. Can you imagine? Yeah, I think we should have an international airport with whose money? Exactly. We're in a recession at the moment, Mr. Mayor of Benfey. Goodness grief. Crazy Canuck, good evening to you. Good evening. Right, that's very good. So we're not having an airport. Yeah, we can't even drive around, let alone. That's a very good point. You know, ports are lacking, roads are absolutely tattered, train lines are outdated. And let's just put our brand spanking new international airport up, shall we? No. How many cars when you can have planes? Fly everywhere. Helicopters and planes, it's the future. Right, what have we got going on here? The Republic of Morella. What's Morella saying? An unidentified object close to the Kinali border. So it's a bloody UFO. It's the 1950s, it's not a drone, is it? What the hell is it? Right, the Republic of Agnolia. Agnolia, yes. Come hither, our potential allies. Offshore drilling. Increased tensions. Ooh, dispute. Very close to the disputed territory of Heliland. Oh, standoff between warships. Ooh, that's bad. There's Valsland, of course. There's Agnolia. There's Heliland, and they're doing some oil drilling, and it's causing a little bit of a scene here. Bearing in mind that we could be allied with Agnolia, so their problems could become our problems. It's all very interesting. Right, papers, please. Don't know why I've gone all the way here to read the papers, but hey. Right, papers. An unusual encounter. Former President Sol's open hospitality. Local fishers were invited for tea by none other than former President Tarquin Sol himself. The man's getting bored in his private residence. In fact, the local fisher folk for tea. Oh, we wanted to remove his immunity. He's a lovely fella. This seemingly ordinary exchange revealed a side of Sol seldom seen in public life. His humble and warm hospitality, even after his tenure, shines as light on the strong community spirit within Duru Island. This incident underscores how Saul remains a figure of interest in the public eye, influencing society beyond the confines of politics. Well done, sir. Oh, Geopolitical has got 4 articles. 54-55 season ends. FC Gelsord claimed the league title again. Are they the Man City of this world? In a thrilling conclusion to the 54-55 season of the Swordish National League, football enthusiasts witnessed a remarkable display of sporting excellence. After months of fierce competition, FC Gelsord emerged as the undisputed champions once again, cementing their status as a force to be reckoned with in Swordish football. Unwavering dedication, formidable skills, impressive victories, opponents left trailing. Hakon Brenner, their star striker, top scorer once again. FC Enrica, the valiant runners-up, put up a strong fight until the very end. But 11 points were the final difference. Oh, well. Well done, FC Gelsord. Well done to you. Right. Geopolitical. United Contana's Congress addresses State of the Union and revolutionary expansion. Okay. Let's read this together in our heads, shall we? I'm not as interested in the wider world stuff. Maybe I should be. We're not a wider world kind of person here. Yeah, what's happening in Contana? Who gives a flying monkey? But we should do, because it could influence what we're doing and what other people around us might want to do. Rich tapestries. Socialists. Okay, yada yada. So they've had a congress, basically, right? Yeah, they've had a congress. Very good. Good for them. Right, Prime Minister Alvarez of Lesbia, that's more interesting, visits Bales, offers support amid tensions with Riesia. Okay, so in a show of solidarity, Prime Minister Alvarez of Lesbia visited the Grand Duchy of Pales and its leader, Axel Reinhardt, to affirm Lesbia's support in the face of mounting pressure from Riesia over the disputed gas fields. As part of the ATO alliance, Lesbia has offered assistance to Pales in resolving the ongoing gas field dispute and maintaining regional stability. During his visit, Prime Minister Alvarez proposed several measures to address the situation, including joint exploration, development of the disputed gas fields, establishing a neutral arbitration panel, and promoting economic cooperation among Mercopan nations to reduce reliance on the contested resources. He also pledged Lesbia's commitment to defending Pale's sovereignty and territorial integrity if the dispute were to escalate. Yeah. We need to know the key crux, and when the key crux come up, our advisors will advise us accordingly. I don't have to rifle through the daily rags to find out. There is a strong message to Riesia, warning them against further aggression. These are the Riesians that we have allied with for our gas, remember? 50-50 split, or 51-49. They're being aggressive, apparently. And Lesbia are right down to our south, right? Lesbia are literally here. Yeah. We've got to be very careful here. Who we ally with? Right, we got 4. Vangslandian Navy forces. Yeah, we saw this in the reports, the briefings. Issues with this drill ship. Naval standoff. But the Vangslandian Navy, I believe, from reading the history, I think was one of these, probably is one of the most powerful navies in the world. If I recall correctly, maybe. Navy Chief. Okay, Arcasia. This is interesting. Dwight Walker has announced the first successful Arcasian intercontinental ballistic missile test. I think this was. Wasn't this before? I think that was before. It's 8 and I am here. Good evening, Marshal. You thought maybe he'll be flim-flamming at least until 10 to 8 is fine. No, I flim-flam for 5 minutes and then we started. Things to do, countries to run. Welcome. We've just read the papers though, nothing too exciting. Right, we're up to speed with the news. We're up to speed with all the bits and the bobs, the bats and the bits. So now it is time for us to take a look at the Worker Rights Act bill, of which is going to cost us some government budget that we don't have. And we did say, I remember ending on this actually, that we do want to sign this. It's going to put us into debt, but we have to sign this. We've stood on the steps of Narbel saying, we're here, you please. You know, trying to smooth talk the situation. For us to veto this would be an absolute catastrophe for our credibility. So, minimum wage. No more than 60 hours per week, even that's still very high. Double pay for overtime. And health and safety. And it extends to migrant workers too. So, do you know what? All of these things I'm very on board with. So, we're going to have to go into debt, aren't we? Indeed we are. It's fine. We'll get some budget from elsewhere. Oh. That ping doesn't sound healthy. What's pinging? What's ponging? What's dinging? What's donging? Right, let's have a look. Ugh. Workers' rights reform. Cham. Now, I was supposed to have my dinner by now, but I've delayed it until 9 because I thought I want to play the game for at least an hour and a bit before I start eating, because I can't talk and eat with this game at the same time. So I'm really hungry. I'm really hungry. And you just just throwing out there, spinach and paneer curry, my favourite. Okra, you can keep that for me. Potato though, yeah, big fan of potatoes. Coconut cymbal? I've not heard of that. What's that? What's that? But I had a delicious curry. I mean, my mate, she's going through an absolute phase at the moment of just cooking every curry under the sun. She's got a cooking head on, which is really good because I go around there every week. So she rung me literally 15 minutes before the stream to say, right, Friday, I've got Friday's dinner sorted. I've made a nice lamb mince curry. Tastes delicious. And I'll probably cook another curry before Friday so we can have a nice little platter. And I'm like, oh my God, sounds good to me. Well, but I went over to her house on Tuesday. Remember, I remember saying, because I was playing Baldur's Gate, wasn't I? And she made that potato and pea curry with the old, and rather than making proper chapatis, which is a bit of a ball ache with the dough and letting it rest and all that, she resorted to the little shortcut method that I gave her, which is the yogurt and the flour, the yogurt flatbreads, which turn it up really nice and soft and fluffy, and you don't even have to let the dough rest. You can just roll it, make it, just bang them in your frying pan, and they're done in minutes. It was really nice. Anyway, sorry, you were just talking about food and distracting me. Worker right reform. Yeah, improvements. Everything's hunky dory. Apart from the fact it's just cost us some money. Right, economy. What's happening to the economy? Situation. Increased employee costs. New costs for businesses. Yes, because you've got to pay people. That's how it works generally, isn't it? Biggest overhead in any business is the staff. And now they've got to pay them more. And work them less hard. Oh dear. Let's see the look on old Thingy's face. What's he called? There's a W in his name, isn't there? What's he called? Bigwig, mustache, man I don't like. Ticked him off in the last session. Walter Tusk, that's the fella. Right, what's happening? Improved working conditions. Good for welfare. People are happy. We like it. We like it. Right, so we're gonna need some money for our highway, I'm sure. It's gonna happen, isn't it? And it must be possible to make money in this game for your government, surely. It can't all be doom and gloom. New law on workers' rights. Let's see how they spun this one. The Workers' Rights Act has been signed into law by President Rain after approval of the Grand National Assembly by majority vote on Monday following a 6-hour debate. Monsoon Lek, who campaigned heavily for the bill, also sought to express his gratitude for the confirmation of the new law, saying it contained much vital rules and regulations for the new workers and the backbones of our nation. Yep, we know what it does. Very good. So that's quite neutral. The Shaven Times. The recent implemented workers' rights bill caused the initial protests against the government to mellow down after the Morbel mine disaster. Chants of anger have turned into solidarity marches. One of the spokespersons for the Needham Mining Group has accused President Rain of acting impulsively with the bill. No, not impulsively. Not at all. It's called being reasonable. Yeah? Workers need conditions to wear, and need recompense, for their efforts. Is it too much to ask? I know it's out there. I know it's the 50s, but hey, we are a forward-thinking nation. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it, right? Okay? Don't come to me with your complaints. All right? You're going to have to pay yourself less bonuses and put that towards your workers. All right? In a surprising move, President Rain has decided to do something right for his citizens by signing the Workers' Rights Act into a law. This looks as a publicity move after the terrible Morbel mine disaster. I mean, it's kind of looks like that because of the timing, right? The mining disaster happened just as we were debating this in the Assembly, I seem to recall. So, we were already, we could, if people do challenges on this, we can say, look, we went to Narbel, we went to the steps, we were talking about doing things to improve conditions before that disaster happened, actually. It's not impulsive. It's not a knee-jerk reaction to that situation. We were already looking into it. Okay? Yeah. A diversion from the real issues. What? Paying people for working? Giving them health and safety is a diversion, is it? These papers make me sick. Absolute sick. We can't all be fat cats in ivory towers, I'm afraid. Some of us have manual labour type jobs that need paying appropriately. Thanks very much. Whoa, what the hell? Okay, regional investment decision, budget allocation of law enforcement, and an evening walk with Monica. An evening walk with Monica? Okay, let's go with budget allocation first. Sounds quite important, doesn't it? Don't forget, did we decreased military, increased education, and didn't we keep the other two budgets the same? So health and law enforcement. We kept them the same, right? So we're in our office. Once again up to our eyeballs in paperwork and reports. Bloody hell. Protests still happening, are they? No pleasing some people, is there? My next scheduled meeting was about the law enforcement budget with Nia and Lilius. I heard some knocks on the door. Nia entered and took a seat in front of my desk. Lilius was absent. Now I get to decide what to do with how much we get. Oh, cool. Good afternoon, Mr. President. Good afternoon, Nia. Lilius will be late. Apparently there was an urgent matter at the Ministry of the Interior she had to attend to. Shouldn't take long. Urgent matter? Well, I'll ask Lilius when she arrives what the urgent matter is. Right, very well. We may as well wait. I'm not in a rush. I returned to my reports, and Nia smoothed back an errant strand of her hair. There was an awkward silence. How very rude of us. We've just returned to our reports, and she sat there. Excuse me, Nia. I'm President, I'm very busy. Reports to read. You're just busy yourself. There's some drinks over on the cabinet over there. While we wait, why don't we have a little chat? This might come off as a little strange, but I am proud of you. We put the papers down, the reports down, and we're looking over our glasses here. Excuse me? What did you say? Is there a football game on today? Oh, Man City are playing. I never watch football anyway. It was funny because actually it's getting quite tense in the Championship, right? Leeds are in third place. We have been on an amazing run of form, and ordinarily in a normal Championship season, see you later, Ollie. In a normal Championship season, we would be probably quite comfortably in the top two, if not the top, given the points that we've got at this stage. But it's a freak season in that 4 teams are massively overperforming compared to the rest, which is really a bugger when there's only 2 slots available for promotion. So yeah, I was most concerned. Leicester for me were going to be the winners of the league. Even that's in question now because they're only 6 points clear after having been, I don't know how many points at the most, maybe 10, 12 at one point. They're now only 6 points clear. So actually, it's not nailed on that they're going to win it now. So that's interesting. But they still got the strongest team, in my opinion. Southampton were my biggest fear because I thought they had a big run of form. About 3 months ago, they started to come up and they got into second place at one point. I was like, as soon as they overtook us, I was like, yeah, they're definitely going to finish in second place now. We're going to be in the playoffs again. And then we went on a massive run of form. And then Ipswich dropped off a little bit because they got off to a really good start really early. And then they dropped a bit. And then suddenly, the one team out of the 3, the one team that was in League One last season, have just come up this season, and you're playing. You're mixing it with 3 teams from the Premier League that got relegated last season. So therefore, I've got far more money than you and resources and the rest of it. Are in second again because they're just not going anywhere. They're just not going away. I'm like, can you just go away, please? Can you just lose a few matches and just give me a bit of a breather? I can't deal with playoffs. Thanks. But yeah, I didn't even realise we were playing yesterday until I checked Twitter today and saw that we'd won against Stoke. I was like, oh, I didn't realise we were playing. I'm kind of a flipping fan of mine. I didn't realise we were playing. But anyway, we drew on the week. We drew on the weekend with Huddersfield, and then we beat Stoke yesterday. So yeah. I think we're 2 points behind it, so it's 2 points, I think it is. So it's tight at the top. It's gonna be an hour last. Excuse me. I think our last game of the season is actually against Southampton. It could be the deciding match. No thanks. Let's not have that much drama. That is ridiculous. But anyway, less football talk now. More about Nia. What's she got to say for herself? Despite everything, you are actually trying to reform the country. Oh, wow. I mean, we've been taking this strapline. It's all about team efforts, right? But this time, it's one-on-one. You know what? And we're going to actually just say that this is the beginning. There's a lot of hard work left to do, Nia. This is just the start of things. Have you seen the state of this country? So much to do, so little time. But as a team, I'm sure we will continue to make inroads. Yes, although there's a lot to do, the future looks promising. Thank you for that. You are giving me hope that this country can get better. Yes. I think this, we're going to say it with conviction. There's no can or can't about the matter, Nia. It will get better. We will make it so. Positive mental attitude. I will follow you anywhere, as long as you keep making good decisions for the country. She leaned forward. How are you really holding up, Anton? Being the president,
Market suspended.
Oh. Just the one race today, don't worry. And it's at 8:30, so I don't know why she's talking. I think she's talking maybe because a horse has been removed from the market. Anyway, we'll continue on. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Nothing I can't handle. Yeah, I think we're handling it pretty well. Nothing I can't handle. I mean, don't get me wrong, so he's got his stresses and strains. Is it the best thing I've ever done in my life? It's going a bit far, I think. Best thing I've ever done in my life? What, running a country? I wouldn't go that far. Bloody hell. But yeah, we're taking it in our stride, Nia. So as much as I can say. Oh, the colour that I was looking for. Remember in the last stream? I couldn't get the colour out of my mouth. Because, you know, maroon. Is this... I was debating. Is this colour of our soup? Is it maroon? Or is it the other colour that I could not for the life of me think? For whatever reason, I kept thinking mauve. It's not mauve. Mauve is definitely more of a purpley colour. And then I googled it after the stream. I was like, what colour the hell is? What the hell is the name of it? It's burgundy. Was the colour I was thinking of. And then when I googled maroon versus burgundy, it was like, oh, actually they are very, very similar. Maroon is a bit more browny, whereas burgundy is a little bit more purpley, but they're both very similar in colour. Now, looking at the maroon and the burgundy that I can remember, I'd suggest that his suit is probably more maroon, but his fedora hat band is a bit more burgundy-ish. I think the band is more purpley and the suit is more browny. So I think he's got a maroon suit and a burgundy headband thing, which actually works pretty well if you ask me. But I'm biased. Anyway, so there you go. There's your colour education for the day. You come to these streams, you just don't know what you're going to get, do you? Several tidbits of information. Right, come on then, Nia. Very well, I will take your word on that. I want to assist you and the country as best as I can. Unfortunately, my hands are tied with the current budget allocation we have for the new law enforcement, and this is where Lilius barges in. She barely finished the sentence before we heard a knock on the door. Nia almost jumped in her chair. Lilius entered the room. Mr. President? Nia? I hope that I'm not interrupting your conversation. Of course you are, Lilius. You know full well you are. No, not at all. We were just discussing a few things. Nia smiled at Lilius. Oh, I'm sorry for being late. It was an important matter of the ministry. The security forces of Berger are arbitrarily not cooperating with my department and created some minor annoyances. Unfortunately, due to my limited authority in the special zone of Berger, I cannot control their operations. Luckily, they didn't completely botch their tasks and actually uncovered a large network of priests that are recruiting Bergens for the Bludish Freedom Front. Oh yes, we have read a report about that just recently, actually. Yes, do you care to expand on this situation whilst you have the chair, Lilius? The issue was a miscommunication about an ongoing investigation inside Berger. But as I said, it didn't affect the results in a negative way. The investigation itself, however, revealed some troubling facts. We suspect the existence of a massive network of BFF-aligned priests currently serving in Berger. We have discovered that most of the existing Golconda sanctuaries and communities inside Berger are indeed working directly for the BFF. Several reports also point to a possible infiltration of the Dutch nearest and Rohesist communities by these Golconda sects. May the divine God forgive us if this is true. Yes, well, keep tabs on the situation, Lilius. We cannot let these sects divide our society. Yes, let's go away from religion now, shall we? She sits down. Well, let's get straight in. We will provide a brief update on the situation of law enforcement. Okay, go ahead. Near? The Ministry of Justice and the Supreme Court is working in close collaboration with the Ministry of Interior to address the protests in the country. I must add that thanks to the hard work of our judiciary, the law enforcement forces assigned to my ministry are doing their jobs efficiently. We like the sound of efficient. I would call it the success of our forces on the ground, not due to the judicial branch of our government. Lilia shot Nia a brief withering glance. The current budget has dampened hopes of more funding in the force, yet here we are with mass protests happening in the country. We are standing exactly where we were before. The decisions made need to reflect the current situation of the country. This was certainly not the right decision when we are dealing with mass protests. Agreed. Many in the Ministry of Justice hoped for an increase and were not satisfied with the decision. Regardless, this means we will have to deal with the growing court backlog. It is manageable, but it will be a challenge for sure. Yes, well, as you can both imagine, I have not got the ability to give every department exactly the cash it wants. Sacrifices had to be made and priorities had to be taken into consideration. So, as I said to you both at the budget meeting, you're going to have to work with what you've got. These sacrifices might very well damage the structural integrity of Swordland. That remains to be seen, but the ripples have already been felt across the country. I hope this decision is not the beginning of something bad. A brief moment of deliberation passed. Lilius and Nia got up from their seats. Well then, I must now return to the ministry. Me too. They left the room. What? They came, they bitched about the fact they haven't got enough money, and then they left. I thought we were supposed to be divvying up the budget for the law enforcement. What's happened here? Hello? Have I missed a trick here or what? They came and then they left. And then behind the closed door they're now arguing. Oh my god. What? We did not do anything there, but just listen to them. I thought we were making decisions. Oh, heavens. Right, here we go. Protests. Oh, protesters are targeting sacred symbols. Oh, hang on. The religious tensions are increasing here. Right. Look, last time this happened, look what happened to the red youth and the other young swords, right? Buff, gone. I'm just saying, we've set a precedent. Religions out there, start bickering, buff. Religion, illegal. We'll just do that. We'll ban religion. Don't try me, people. Sacred figures and symbols of Das-nurity, including the Saint Das himself, have become the target of vandalism. What initially began as a protest against the murder of Bernard Circus has turned into rioters forcibly tearing down monuments of former Swordish politicians, saints and other figures. Even if rioters are successful in removing the images of Saint Dast or Tarquin Sol from parts of society, this will only serve to strengthen our faith and our political will, said Curtin Lest, mayor of the one of the worst hit cities, Anrica. Oh dear. We keep an eye on that. Right, here is The Economist. Economy is slowly recovering. The recession has slowed down last month, showing signs of recovery, but make no mistake, Swordland is still in a danger zone. The several past weeks have brought lots of mixed news, but good news came particularly from several regions hitting pre-recession output numbers. Thousands of people returning to work with better working conditions. And Swordish citizens getting out and spending more. Manufacturers cranked up the assembly lines again, and many businesses welcome back customers. Oh, look at this. Are we going to get a positive line at some point soon? Richter calls president to action. Okay. Piff Jib leader, Franz Richter, has said President Rain needs to address issues like term limits and electoral threshold. Has he not read the constitution that we've just proposed, where we've agreed to term limits and we've removed or lowered the electoral threshold? Mr. Richter, are you a bit slow today, eh? I've agreed to that. Shut your trap. Richter also talked about the need for educational reforms. Have you not got the memo, Richter? You're just stating everything that we've done. That's all you're doing. You're just reminding. I don't need reminding. I've put my name to it, and I'm a man of my word. Richter can shut his trap. All right, for me. Shut his pie hole. Right. Are we going to actually do some decision making? It's really bizarre because, like, you know, when it comes to games and making decisions, I sometimes have a bit of a thromby. Oh no! And then when I don't get to make a decision, I'm like, well, I didn't get to make a decision. I just had to listen to people talk. What the hell? I wanted to make a decision. Oh, right. Bludish Freedom Front using schools to recruit and train militants. Okay, this is bad news. These Bludish Freedom people are getting a bit out of hand. Now, my ultimate goal was to try to integrate Bludish a bit more into society and kind of, you know, try to break down this them and us attitude. I mean, it still might be possible. We're still only at the very start, but we've got a long way to go looking at this. A school in Suzerain was discovered to be acting as a hidden facility of the Bludish Freedom Front, where they employed methods of Bludish nationalist propaganda and military training. It is suspected that the BFF has been using rural schools all around Berger to recruit and train students for their cause. These operations are often hidden and occur mainly in areas with a majority Bludish population, where schools opt for using the Bludish language over Swordish. Many of these communities tend to struggle with the Swordish language and become easier targets for the BFF. The situation is concerning, as it involves the indoctrination and recruitment of young individuals into a violent and extremist organisation. It is recommended that the government take immediate action to prevent the Bludish Freedom Front from using schools as a tool for their recruitment efforts. Well, what are you supposed to do? Put police on the door of every school? My goodness. Open city information. No, I've clicked on the wrong button. Oh, of course. Regional investment decision. There's that. Now we can make a decision. Right. Gus Manger and Simon Hall have prepared an extensive regional investment package to revitalise one of top 3 economically fragile regions by boosting the municipal -2 budget. We can't afford it. It sounds good. It sounds good, but I can't afford it. Agland, Berger, Lauren. Now, Berger, we're having loads of issues in Berger, so I don't think it's good to put any money into Berger at the moment. Lauren is up here. I mean, to me, Agland is already getting a highway, so if we're being fair, we need to spread the love a bit. So I'd probably give it to Lauren. but we can't afford it. I mean, I don't think -3 debt with the potential to have to spend more money is a good place to be. So we're going to have to boost the economy in these regions through other methods later on. We can't afford this right now. You know, our position may change in subsequent years, but right now this is not feasible. What country isn't in debt? That's very true, but I mean, we're playing in a situation where we could be heavily penalised. If it was real life, yeah, just go into more debt, it's fine. What they're going to do, bankrupt the country? Do a Greece on us? It'd be fine. We'll just borrow more, it's not a problem. How many trillions are we in debt now, Mr. Prime Minister? Oh, 2.5 trillion. What's another $0.5 trillion? Let's make it around 3. Why not? No, we can't afford this. It's painful because I want to do it. You know, Lauren could do with a bit of a boost. We can address Berger another time, and it would be a nice, happy place. Aglan's getting the roads, Lauren's getting the investment with the boosting of the budget and the grants and the stuff. But let's not forget that also, was it in Grooney or was it in Lauren where we actually brought in that green thing? So we are giving some businesses incentive to be green for tax cuts. And I think that was Lauren. Or was it Grooney? Lauren or Grooney? Did it say here? Or was it the whole country? So they are getting some stimulus. Can you not put up tax and national insurance by 2%? Yeah, that 2% that we're just taking off you, we're going to just take it back now. God, no chance. We can't invest, I'm afraid. Can't afford it. It's the first time we have been hamstrung by money, and I don't think it's going to be the last either. Oh, it's getting to the painful stage where we have to actually say no to things that we want to say yes to. That's not a good place to be. Anyway, we're gonna cure our headache with a nice evening walk with Monica. I have got an achievement. I have got an achievement. You just heard the ping probably. Called Man of the People. I've just got an achievement called Man of the People. Now, when I set out with, when I got elected and did my whole speech thing, I'm sure I said that I'm aiming to be a man of the people. And literally, we've just got the achievement called Man of the People. I'm very happy right now. We are setting out and we are doing what we set out in our mandate, or whatever the hell you call these things. We're doing it as best we can. It remains to be seen if it's going to be long-term profitable, or long-term viable, or if we're going to be speaking Swordish or Rumbergian in the future. Who knows? But for now, it's looking pretty decent. It was early evening, still light out with just a faint nip in the air. Frank was at a friend's and Dina was at an art class. Monica and I decided to go out for a walk before dinner, where I just needed to chill out, you know. I've had bloody Lilius on the bloody near arguing and reports up to my eyeballs, nothing but doom and gloom, religious tensions, and I've just had to turn down a investment in a poor area because we can't afford it. But Monica, we're not here to talk about work, we're here to walk, so just let me forget about my cares, forget about my troubles, and then just enjoy your company, enjoy the scenery. And if I start talking work, just give me a slap around the chops and all will be well. Our favourite place for a stroll was the nearby Capitol Park, the largest green space in all of Halsall. Before the children were born, we had spent many an evening engaged in deep conversation along the riverside promenade. Another favoured path wound through the woods behind the presidential housing complex to a private pond where the children could swim in the summer. I was told that Saul himself had it built. The benefits of being president. Monica, looking rather sullen, met me by the door, and we put on our coats and hats. I was going to suggest we walk towards Sol Square, but the guards told me it's been closed for yet another protest. Oh. I wonder who they are protesting this time. Does it matter? Two sides of the same coin. Protest.
20 seconds.
Oh, race is about to go off. Hang fire. I'll have to wait until she's finished yapping now.
Ten seconds. 9 seconds. 8 seconds.
Man City.
0 seconds.
Man City are 2-0 up already. Right. That is the advertised off time. The race isn't obviously off yet, so we'll carry on now until she decides it's time to tell us that the race is off. Right, so, well, yeah. The Anton Union University would never have said that. Well, the Anton Union University is now a president of a country and is growing tired of protests. This is a walk, this is a walk to distress about the goings on of the world. Exactly. In any case, where shall we go? I'm not sure Capitol Park is a wise idea in this climate either. Ooh. Do you know what? No. We are off to Capitol. This is going to turn horribly wrong. I'm sure somebody will recognise us, and then we're going to be in the middle of a protest, and then something's going to happen. Do you know what? No, we're off. We're off to Capitol Park. I go where I please. Being confined inside the gates like some kind of prisoner? Let's get going. Come on. Oh, all right. Let's go then, before the children get home. I informed the guards about our route, and we left the house. The guards followed us with a black Cadilla as we exited the gates. Walking briskly, we reached Capitol Park in minutes. You know, I mean, I'm going for a walk on Saturday, for example. I'm going for a nice, 8-ish mile walk on Saturday morning into the afternoon. Get the exercise and get the steps in. And could you imagine having to walk? It's a simple thing, isn't it? You put your coat on, put your shoes on. I'm off for a walk. I do it routinely. Go for a little wander. And could you imagine having to do that with a car following you everywhere?
Market suspended. Market in play.
Okay, now the race is off. Having to do that. I'm just going for a walk. Oh, hang on, you can't just go for a walk, Mr. President. You have to tell your security detail, then they have to come in the car behind you, follow you where you're going. As I just saunter 8 miles. But, and then, God forbid, if I actually go into a park, you can't drive your car into a park, can you, mate? You're going to get out and follow me at a distance now as well. On foot. But hey, I'm paying you. Probably a pretty penny as well. I couldn't imagine anything worse. And it's like, like footballers, famous football, being famous. I mean, if somebody was to ask me, do you want to be famous, rich and famous? No. Do I want to be famous? Do I want to be hounded? Do I want to, if I want to go shopping to buy myself something in Tesco, do I want to be mobbed by people? No. Do I flip in hellers like? Fame? No. Do I want wish for it? I won't bloody wish for it. Fortune, I could be on board with a bit of fortune though, but fame, no. No. I couldn't imagine it worse. I couldn't imagine anything worse. Anyway, sorry, slight diversion. As we entered the park, Monica broke the silence. So, how was your day? Oh, don't ask me how my day was, love. I'm trying to distress about my day. How was yours? Never answer a question with a question. Certainly not to your wife. Right. Usual nightmare. I don't want to be negative about work. I would rather not say, how was yours? I don't like any of these options really, but we'll tell the truth. Paper, work, meetings. The usual nightmare. I don't know. I imagine some might find that stimulating. I actually do find it stimulating, but I didn't have an option for the stimulation, did I? What about your day? Oh, it's fine. I caught up on some reading while the children were at school. As we reached the river, we saw Ionas Kroner, the former Minister of Justice, walking in the opposite direction. I remembered that Nia Morgner used to be
Market
his
suspended.
Vice Minister. He gave us a quick nod of acknowledgement. Ionas had once fought hard and strong against Saul's judiciary reforms. But after years of the government blocking his every move, he gave up on his ideals and became part of the administration. What did ideals really mean if they could be changed so easily? What about the people we idolise? Evelyn also came round for tea. She says hi. She was feeling rather low, though. Apparently she and Peter had a bit of a disagreement. Oh dear. Come on, what's he done? Apparently he had too much whiskey, as usual, and didn't behave when Evelyn's father was over for dinner yesterday. You know, Peter, what do you think of this? I think Peter has got an issue, is what I think. That is not the behaviour of a vice president, I would like to suggest. You know, and it's one thing doing it in private, which is still bad enough, but it's another thing doing it on the flipping job, and he has done it on the job. I wonder if this actually comes out or not. I think it does. Oh, it does! Does that go in there? Oh, no, it doesn't. Oh, bugger. Playing around with my water bottle here. This is my The Chase bottle. This is a bottle of water I had on The Chase, which is coming to what, 3 years ago now? Something like that, 2.5. Anyway, what do we think about this? I don't care. No, it's fine. Do you know what we'll do? We will have a talk with him. That is Peter. That is the vice president of this entire country. I think we'll have to sack him at some point. We can't have our second in command acting like this. Good. Evelyn seemed close to tears. Aren't you glad you and I don't have these kinds of quarrels? Monica didn't say anything. We kept walking. Oh my God, is a quarrel brewing? You know Evelyn hasn't been the same since what happened to her at Halsord Post last year. You remember how she got fired for supporting Alfonso? Peter tried everything to get her job back, but it didn't work. Can you reshuffle your cabinet? I'm not sure, actually. I imagine at some point there will be an opportunity to reshuffle. It would make sense. Or maybe not. Because looking at the codex, I don't think there's that many named people. So, if we were going to reshuffle, unless we were going to reshuffle the people into around, amongst different posts, perhaps, I don't know. We'll see. Don't tell me if you know the answer. By the way, this is not me asking the question to you. This is me. It's a plot-driven game. Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. Yeah, if it comes up in the plot, maybe, but I don't think it will personally. Right. She had it coming. A sad day for journalism and free speech. Indeed, it was. We promote free speech, free-ish speech, when we've paid or agreed to do favours for somebody who's going to put a good word in the papers for us. It's kind of free-ish speech, isn't it? Completely agree. A sad day indeed. But enough about the Vectons. I also spoke to Janice on the phone. Who? You remember? My friend from university. We were in the Swedish literature class together. A few years younger than me, red hair, scar on the forehead. We had dinner with her and her husband once or twice. I'll be honest with you, I still don't remember her, but go on. Oh, yeah, fine. She's been working as an executive assistant at the Violet Pictures film studio. She recently became pregnant and asked her boss for paid maternity leave. And guess what? Let me think. I'm just winging a prayer job here, but I'm guessing he said no. Worse, she was fired for it. Holy cow. Bloody hell. Can you imagine that nowadays? Goodness me. Can't a husband provide for both of them? That's terrible. I know. I was beside myself when she told me. And that's not all. They immediately replaced her with a younger, less experienced man. The son of an executive, no less. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'm happy you agree with me. She's my wife. Of course I'm going to agree with her. Even if I don't agree, I'm going to agree with her. Bloody hell. I don't have a wife. Probably never will have a wife, probably. But even I know not to disagree. How long am I streaming for? Because it's a talkie game, 10 o'clock. My talking will be done by 10. It's not good for the old throat, this game. And I forgot to... I forgot to fill my water bottle with me juice that I always drink. I have got this root beer if I get a particularly dry spell. But yeah, 10 o'clock is the aim. I'm doing a lot of studying at the moment. I may tell you about it in the part. Oh, while I've got you on, I can't see how many people are here, but hey, I'm going to have to mention it in a video update probably, so that more people will see it. But it's almost about a month away from my anniversary. It's always in April, and I can never remember if it's the 13th of April, the 10th of April, or the 12th of April. I can never remember which date it is. So maybe one of you guys know better than me. But interesting conundrum, and the channel has to come first, I'm afraid. But on that very same weekend of my anniversary, and let me just get the calendar up here. I think my anniversary is, I think it's the 12th. Oh, it's the 13th. Oh, it's the 13th. It is the 13th then. Right, even better. Because the 13th this year is a Saturday. Perfect. Perfect, you would think, wouldn't you? Saturday the 13th, anniversary stream. Brilliant. However, the 13th of April is the same day that I do another kind of ritual, if you will, and that is going to London to the big games expo, which is called Salute. It's the biggest tabletop game expo in Europe. It's in the, I can't remember, it's in the Excel Centre, which is a massive place. And I go every year pretty much with my gaming buddies, my tabletop buddies. And that's on the 13th of April. Now there's no way I'm getting to London and back before stream time. I won't be back until about probably 6:30, 7. And then I've got to get ready and start messing around. And I like to start my streams at 6. Now I've already agreed to go before I realised this, so I'm going to have to let them down at this point. But I did think, oh, could we do it on the Friday instead? I could do it on the 12th, I'll do it on the Friday. But I can't, because I'm going to London. If I go to London on the Saturday, we're leaving at about 4 in the morning. I don't finish streaming until at least 2 in the morning. I'm not going to London with 2 hours sleep. I'm pissed as a fart. Because I have to drive to get to the guy's house before we go to London. So that can't happen either. So it's the choice I have to make is either do an anniversary stream that's not anywhere near my anniversary, or I go to London, or I don't go to London, basically. So I've decided pretty much, and I'll have to send a message before close to the time because they might start buying the tickets, that I'm going to have to give it a miss this year because I'm streaming, which sounds like a really bad thing to do, but it's my anniversary stream and I quite like my little rituals, you know, so there you go. So put it now, Demo go. Nah, you know what? I'm quite happy to stream. To be honest with you, I really enjoy my anniversary, me party streams. The week, no, it's not the same, is it? Happy anniversary stream. My anniversary was last week, though. You know, it's like celebrate your birthday a week later. It's not going to happen, is it? Come on now. You don't celebrate Christmas Day 2 weeks later, do you? Or a week earlier? Well, some people do actually. Some people just celebrate Christmas on different days. Actually, Scandinavians, for example, I think celebrate on a different day. But anyway, that's by the by. No, it falls on the 13th. It falls on the Saturday, and in fact, funnily enough, this games convention is always pretty much. I'm going to just check this out now. Pretty much always on the flipping day of the Grand National. Is the Grand National on the flipping 13th? It is! It's always on the day of the Grand National. It's the Grand National on the 13th. So even better, because every time I go to this Games Expo, I can never watch the Grand National either. And I love horse racing. Funny enough, I'm not the biggest fan of the Grand National, because if you're a massive horse racing fan, you will understand that the Grand National is a handicap race, which means there's a lot of playing games to get your horse into a decent handicap to have less weight on its back in the Grand National. So it's a handicap race, whereas the Cheltenham Festival has non-handicap graded races, which is purely about the ability of the horse, because they're off level weights. So it's like, you know, putting massive backpacks on Usain Bolt to slow him down so that he's not quite as quick, to make it more even. That's the Grand National. That's rubbish. You want Usain Bolt to not have any backpacks on so you can see his full pace and see how the other people compare off a level playing field. So that's why I don't like the Grand National, you see. But nonetheless, it's still a very big day for horse racing. So this year, I'm actually going to do something that I've never done for a little while, because I've always gone to London. I'm going to sit and watch the Grand National. I'm going to do some horse racing on that day, and then I'm going to hopefully win a few pennies, and then seamlessly stroll into an anniversary stream. That will be my 13th of April. I've decided now. So there you go. So I'm giving you all priority. I hope you realise. Here, prioritising you guys. It should be fun. The reason why I was talking about this was I was going to say that I'm doing a lot of studying at the moment, because I like my horse racing. I've done it for a number of years. I've made profits because I trade rather than put bets on, and I've got little systems that are quite decent. And but I stumbled into something earlier this week, just through. It was really bizarre, but I had a piece of software that I paid for that give you certain information about horses, and I've used it for about 2 years, and it's proven to be very useful. But I stopped using it for a little while because I was having, you know, little spits and spats with different strategies and flip-flop around, and then I got an email from the person that the software was from to say that he's discontinuing that software because he's putting it into his website with other softwares in it, and it's like, oh, that's a bummer. Anyway, it happened earlier this week, and he sent another email to say, right, it's finally happened, we're stopping the old software now, it's not going to work anymore, therefore, if you want a refund on that, pro rata, we'll give you a refund, or if you want to sign up to the new site, feel free. Anyway, I'd had this old software for close to a year, so I wasn't bothered about a refund. And then I looked at the new site and then started reading it and looking at some of the software and looking at some of the write-ups and then doing some research about the reviews. And because, you know, when it comes to horse racing or it comes to anything to do with betting, there's 1,001 people out there that are selling things that are just cons, that are never going to be profitable, ever. So I'm always very sceptical about anything like that. Anyway, after doing my research, I was very impressed with what was on offer and signed up. So all this week I spent doing a lot of reading And it's quite ideal timing, really. I'll do some flim-flam now because I didn't do anything from the start. Because it's interesting timing because I'm going on holiday. And on holiday, what do I like to do? I like to flip and read. So I thought, oh, perfect. I'm going to download all of the PDFs, every single one, onto my phone. And then I can read. I mean, I'm not a big fan of reading on my phone, but hey, or what I might do, actually, before I go on holiday, I might get myself a tablet. I've always wanted one. Interesting. Hold that thought. It's like you say, it's all horse racing. I know other people do, there's 1,001 things you can do with cricket and football and all the rest of it, but I'm a horse racing person. So I'm going to download all the documents, all the PDF. I can access the website when I'm out there, so if I want to just look at the site, I can do that. So I'm going to do all the reading and the research, take my notebook out with me, and start coming up with little plans and things. But I'll tell you the crux of what it does, because it's very powerful. And what it does is basically, one of the things it does is it's got you can test a load of different systems, if you call them systems, right? You might think, right, I'm going to try. I wonder if it's profitable to back front-running horses in 2-mile races that are the second favourites on a Tuesday at 9:30. Or whatever. You just set some criteria. You think, is it profitable in the long term to back front runners in this race, this time, with this certain circumstance, when it was a beaten favourite last time, or whatever. And then you put those conditions in, and then you hit go, and put some other parameters, and you hit go, and then what it will do is it will basically, you can put the year in, and you can go back, I think, to as far back as 2014, so that when you press go, it will then give you statistics of that profile that you've just put in. So it will tell you how many races over the past, let's call it 5 years, qualified with a selection for that criteria, and whether it won or lost. And then it will give you your strike rate, it will give you your profits or loss. And then you can further delve into that and tweak it based on other criteria to refine it. So it gives you literally umpteen years of data. So if you think about it this way, if you come up with a system in your head, I think it's going to be profitable to do X, Y, and Z and bet on this particular situation. To trial it yourself and paper trade it, you'd have to physically sit there and do race after race after race after race, 100, 200, 300 times, which could take a year plus to get that information manually, and then put it in an Excel formula, and then look at it and think, right, after all of that, it wasn't profitable. Bugger. Right, back to the drawing board. Whereas this, it does it at the click of a button, and it spits at you 5 years worth of data in about 5 seconds. Absolutely unbelievable. Now, I mean, it could be spitting random numbers at you, and it could be all a lie. But it's not. It's not. So literally, what I'm going to be doing after I've done all my reading is I'm going to be having a big play around with this powerful piece of kit to see if I can use my knowledge of the past few years of horse racing to see if I can come up with a workable angle that's got a positive expectation in the long run, and see what happens. It's really interesting. It's not cheap. It's not a cheap piece of software, by the way. It's cost me a pretty penny, but as I say, I'm quite profitable with what I do on the trading. So I've just taken it out of my betting bank. So it's not cost me a penny really. It's come out of my betting money. But anyway, there you go. That's my flim flam. But I should caveat all of this as a responsible person. Gamble responsibly, people. Gamble responsibly. If you gamble at all, that is. Anyway, there we go. We're in the middle of a walk. So yeah, I'll keep. So in the. That's what I was going to say. In the party stream, anniversary stream, I'll give you an update, and I might even talk you through a bit more about what I do on this. I don't really talk about my sports trading very much. I might give you a bit of insight into me, what I do behind the scene, when I'm on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon. Just for anybody interested. It might not be, but I'll open you up to my world of sports trading. In the anniversary stream. That's one of your agenda items. Right, anyway, as it happens, another friend works for a television station that's hiring secretaries, so I connected the two of them. But that doesn't solve the deeper problem, does it now? Anyway, when you mention Moneyball, by the way, Rod, that just always reminds me of Football Manager. I know it was a baseball concept. It was an interesting concept about using statistical analysis to find. I don't know what the full context was for baseball, but I'm assuming it was to build a team based on statistical analysis. Before statistical analysis was the norm. And the only reason why it reminds me of Football Manager is because a lot of people on YouTube do Moneyball saves nowadays. Brentford and Brighton, yeah, and it's been very successful for those teams. Look where Brentford and Brighton are now, for example. So yeah, Moneyball saves on Football Manager, for example, are quite fun to watch. Yeah. Anyway, there we go. Those poor bastards. Women in this country are still seen as wives and mothers first, human beings second. They're harassed at work, underpaid, blocked from positions of power, and those are the lucky ones. The fact that there are still places in this country where little girls like Dina are denied the right to an education. Yes. And let's not get worked up about it. Think of your blood pressure. I am going to work on changing that. You know that I'm working for change. This is one of the things that I will be working for. Don't you worry about that eventually. It can't just be you. Though these little girls and people like Janice need someone to speak on their behalf. A role model, a successful woman. We were right in front of one of the park benches that lined the river. Monica gestured to it and we sat down. Which brings me to my point. I knew there was a point. She's not been. There was just some. I could tell from. I mentioned it. There's something. I could tell there was something she wanted to get off her chest. I know that the Mayor of Enrica, Curtin Lest, will be delivering a speech at the annual opening of the Benfey Festival. That's dinner time. It's 9 o'clock already. Jesus wept. Time flies by when you're playing this bloody game, I tell you. I said Hello? What the hell has happened here? Sorry, folks. Hang on a second. Let me get my right fingers working. There we go. We're back again. Premature ending. Right, okay. Hang on a second. Shepherd's pie today, one of my favourites. Right, anyway, so what the Mayor of Enrica is delivering a speech. Okay, yes. My wish is to take his place and deliver the speech instead. Oh, dun dun dun. Okay, hang on just a second, love. We need to talk about this after I've got my shepherd's pie. This is... You can't just shoehorn your wife in, can you, just because you're the president? Good grief. She's going to railroad us into this one. Oh, golly gosh, gushy gum. She is the First Lady. That is very true. But the poor mayor was probably looking forward to giving a speech. Give me 1 second, folks. Right. So my wife, let's see what kind of person he is in the wiki page, maybe. Who? Curtin Lest. Curtin Lest. Jesus, that's a long write-up. Correspondent for the Household Post newspaper. Also founded the National Neurist Association to fight against decreasing religious and moral values among the youth. Started a business in Benfey, Seaside Hotel, restaurant. Oh, sounds like a nice guy. Mayor of Benfey. Culture Festival. Okay. Cultural heritage promotion. Increased tourism greatly. He's seen the city expand greatly in size. He's been re-elected 3 times in a row. This is not some tin pot mayor, is it? This is quite a significant mayor that's done a lot of good. How are we going to let him down gently? Sorry, pal, but my wife is now talking tonight. You, unfortunately, are not. You know what I mean? Lest was one of Sordland's most influential politicians. He had started his career in Benfey before rising to power in Enrica. Benfey's current mayor had personally invited him to make the opening speech. Okay, so he's like a guest speaker. Okay. Replacing him with Monica would likely anger him, probably not enough to cause a huge incident, but enough that he might use its influence over the Conservatives to block me in the Assembly. Now that's problematic. Very problematic. So problematic, I'm going to eat a Brussels sprout. So I've got shepherd's pie with carrots, peas, cauliflower and sprouts. Actually, I'm one of the, I don't know actually, I'm going to say one of the few people, I'm sure lots of people like sprouts, but it gets sprouts get a bad press if you don't cook them properly, of course. I do like sprouts, really nice. I want to base this speech on women's rights in Swordland, on the oppression and discrimination we face every day, on the basis of our sex alone. Okay, so if we think about this logically, right? We can't afford to let our emotions take over here. We have to think about things logically, we have to think about things tactically. Her giving a speech about women's rights probably is not going to do much for women's rights, other than cause a bit of an uproar, right? A bit of a stir. But it's not going to change a great deal, is it? I mean, it might do, I suppose, but I doubt it. We're going to need some pushing from the Assembly, from me. You talking is not going to lead to sweeping changes, whereas my constitutional reforms are. And losing the support of Conservatives is a massive problem. So on this occasion, wife dear, I'm going to have to say no to you delivering a speech on women's rights. We need Lucian's opinion. I'm sure Lucian would agree with me. This needs to be tactically dealt with. I'm sure you'll understand. I'll stand up and give the most moving speech of women's rights you've ever heard in the Assembly, if necessary, to compensate. But we cannot afford to lose Conservative votes before we've even talked to Gloria Tory. Oh, she needs my blessing as my husband. Oh, she's playing the husband card. As my loving husband, as well as being the president of Swordland. Remember my time with the Swordist League of Women in the university? You supported me then. I'm asking you to support me now. I love how the game has just thrown this in. They've done this on purpose, haven't they? They've done... Well, of course they have. Of course they have. What we'll do is... Oh, we'll give them a right quandary to work with here. Oh. Wife or politics? Take your pick. Monica's eyes were blazing with a fire I hadn't seen since we were students. She wanted this badly, but I had to be careful with my promises. Does it have... Yeah, does it have to be at the festival? Can you not make your speech another time in another place that's not going to be a catastrophe to my political achievements for the good of the country? We're saying this in our heads. The bit we're saying out loud is, can we not do this another time? Can we convince her? Of course we can. Now is the perfect time, because it has to be now, clearly. Thousands go to this festival and millions watch the speeches at home. Swordland's women can't wait any longer. Hello, Nagisa. You haven't actually missed anything major. This is our first big decision of the day. Hang on. I am going to have to eat my dinner properly at some point, but I'm so hungry I can't just sit here and look at it. Right. Well, I mean, the options are full support, no. We've already decided this is not going to happen. Sure, it's just a speech. That's the worst option of all three. Oh, it's just a speech after she's told us that it's a speech that's so meaningful that she has to broadcast it to millions of people. Oh, it's just a speech. What's the worst that can happen? No. But then I wouldn't also say absolutely not. It's out. A bit like let her down a bit gently. And explain that why it can't be the case. You know, tentatively, calmly, softly, and hopefully smoothly. If my name is not Anton Rain, Mr. Silver-tongued Lothario here. I've clicked it now. I've clicked it. It's fine. I don't understand. Isn't this something you care about as well? Don't put the old guilt trip on me. We're going to be honest with her. Honesty is the best policy. Sorry. I'm going to hate this answer. But I cannot simply afford to anger Curtin Lest at this moment in time. Any other time, after the Constitution is passed, we can stick two fingers up at Curtin Lest for all I care. But right at this precise moment, we can't anger the man. I can't anger the man. What little trouble this causes in the short term is nothing compared to the lasting positive change it will bring, not just for women, but for all of Swordland. Little trouble this causes in the short term. No. It's not little trouble in the short term, is it? Just trust me on this one. Monica was silent for a while. When she finally spoke, there was a chill in her voice. Well, if that's truly how you feel, so be it. We walked back home, neither of us looking at the other. That's painful. That's painful. Oh, we got 8 news articles, we got loads of briefings, and we got 2 exclamation marks. Perfect time for me to eat, so I'm going to read them in my head, and you can read them as we go along. Apologies if you can't read because you're doing other stuff, or you've got a tiny little phone screen you're watching on. But I need to eat, so we'll just quickly look at the important stuff, which is what the hell has happened with the situation. Unruly generals. Ooh, this is because of the lack of funding. That was it, yeah. I'm glad we don't have calls like that. And that was exactly what I said when I said something, because she didn't answer that question, did she? She didn't say, "Oh no, we don't." Well, you know, she just ignored that question completely, and that's when I thought to myself, "Something's brewing here." And lo and behold, it was nationwide peaceful protests. Okay, well, it's better than non-peaceful protests. It's a start, isn't it? It's a start. So in Lenkirk, we've got the briefing on the highway construction issues. This is where we have to foot some more money, I feel. I knew something was going to happen. I'm sure it's going to happen. We'll look at that as well. Oh, what the? Oh, changes to the tax system. Who was it? Rod. Oh, Rod might have left. I've just noticed his message. I've got to eat. Great playthrough. I'll be watching the rest later. Oh, Rod might have gone. But you mentioned about putting the tax up. Hey, we might be able to put the tax up. A couple of reports, of course. The highway's halfway done. Okay. And their report. Right, okay. So we'll read the reports, we'll read the news, and then I'll hopefully have nearly finished eating then, and then we can get on to some important business. What's happening with the shaving? Yeah, tax system. That's right, yeah. Hello, Hauler, welcome. Tax the rich. Yep, windfall taxes, rich taxes, tax all the buggers. Tax them all. Anyway, I'll finish my dinner probably in about 10-ish minutes max, and then we'll crack on playing properly. When am I coming to Vegas? Time to gamble. What I need to do first, Hauler, is I need to sit down and work out a few systems first. No, the only game I would ever play in a casino with any kind of gusto is poker, because unlike any other casino game, at least poker involves an element of skill. The house takes a rake, which is the house's profits, but ultimately, if you're better than the people that you're playing against, in the long run, you will make money. So, unlike your blackjacks, your craps, and all the rest of the stuff, your slot machines, if I go in a casino, don't touch them. Don't touch them with a barge pole. But if you've got a bit of poker on, well, I'll happily play a bit of poker. But anyway, right, it's time to eat. I'll be back with you, but we'll read these briefings and stuff, and hopefully we'll see what's going down. So I probably ate that far too quick, really. But it was bloody lovely. Not to leave a little bit, it was a bit of a big plateful. But, right, Royal Emerald Energy eyes Gasson. A strategic move. So, obviously, mixed thoughts on our partnership with Resia in the old energy thing. Obviously, certain countries aren't very happy with that. Lesbia, for example. Tough, isn't it? Right, anyway, what's this? Rumberg's Royal Emerald Energy's potential investment in Swordland's Gasson is a move to be welcomed, not feared. This could be the lifeline that Gasson, a bedrock of our domestic energy sector, needs to recover from its financial difficulties. Whilst concerns about foreign ownership are understandable, the international dynamics of free market economies must be recognised. Royal Emerald. So we know that Resia have got ties with Rumberg, and we've never heard anything about Rumberg investing in our energy sector. Interesting. And Resia's investment, a lifeline for Gasson. Could stimulate recovery, usher in a period of financial stability, and it underscores the potential benefits of international cooperation in the energy sector. The move is seen as a beacon of the positive impacts that international collaboration can engender in the energy sector. You like the sound of that? What's this? The Lashaven Times. Explosion in Dare. 3 killed, 22 wounded. So we also saw in the briefings lots of unrest from young swords and red youth. Don't forget we banned them, right? So maybe this whole them kicking out, bombing police stations and all this kind of stuff is in direct retaliation to us basically not giving them a voice anymore. Could be. We did say we were open to discuss this another time with our ministers, though, so, you know. This is potentially about what, Bluish Freedom Front were likely behind the attack. There's been a wave of unrest in Swordland for the last couple of months. These attacks seem to suggest the racial tensions in Berger have also increased to very dangerous levels, which raises questions about how the situation should be handled. The Worker Party of Bluedeer has condemned the incident, adding that the BFF does not reflect the views or the cultures of the Bluish people. Arcasia has called on both sides to avoid violence, but stressed that Swordland has the right to defend itself against attacks by Bluish rebels. Okay, and the paper is reporting on our debt position. The current administration is hiding the extent of the debt. Current stance. I'm not hiding anything. We're in slight debt. I'm an open and honest man. Are you in debt? Yeah, we are. Which country? Somebody said it earlier. Which country isn't in debt? It's just what degree of debt you're in. I mean, I think, you know, in the grand scheme of things, -1 debt. You know, it's like being about, I don't know, in a country's terms, how much debt are you in? $1 billion. Oh, is that it? £1 billion worth of debt for a country? It's probably not that. Well, it depends on the size of the country, I suppose. But, you know, £1 billion of debt to the UK is pennies. That's what I liken this to. We're a few pennies in debt at the moment. I don't want people getting all antsy about it. Progress on Iotake Plan. The ambitious Iotake Plan contains its march to Nibia's expanded influence in nations. Blah, blah, blah. How the ATO counter such an extensive geopolitical maneuver. The chessboard is set and the game stakes are high. Okay, Smolak condemns Arcasian soldiers in Lesbia. So, yeah, so we've got some Arcasian soldiers in Lesbia. We had Arcasian soldiers in Angland, if you remember. Or did we? Or did we just have Yeah, I'm sure we had some kind of Arcasia influence in Angland, because we're going to ally with these guys, so that could be positive for us. Yeah, Arcasian soldiers in Swordland. Yeah, that would be a welcome option. If I don't know actually. If I was to make one decision different from the start, I would probably have allied with Arcasian maybe, rather than go alone. But we'll see. Last month, Prime Minister Alvarez and President Walker agreed on the construction of several military bases in Lesbia. I remember reading this. Whalen not happy about it. President Smolak. They're not happy, basically. Chancellor denounces Arcasian base on Ravnos Island. Chancellor Hegel of Valsland publicly censored Arcasia's recent move to establish a military base on Ravnos Island. During a press conference, Arcasia ticking a few countries off around here. Yeah. I wouldn't ally with them, to be honest with you. But it would make actually the most sense for us, to be fair. So Arcasia are putting troops and the bases in and around the area. It's not going down very well. But anyway, forget that. We've got important things to worry about, such as discussion to the changes of the tax system. Oh, let's talk cash, because we are fast running out of it. So, we're at the top floor of the Business Council building, which has a great view of the beautiful Leshaven. I looked outside from the tall glass windows. The Marquian Sea stretched as far as the eye could see, and it was dotted with many ships towards the horizon. They were mostly cargo ships, carrying precious goods in and out of Swordland. Tracing back the paths of the ships, I looked at the harbour. Leshaven was home to one of the largest harbours in the entire continent. Many dockyard workers were loading or unloading the containers. Work never stopped here. The door opened. Simon, Mikhail, and Edith entered the meeting room. Mr. President? Mr. President, so nice to see you again. Good afternoon, Mr. President. Oh, these are the guys that we had dinner with, right? Good to see you all again. Simon put down his bag on the table and started collecting his documents while the others slowly took their seats. Mr. President, before we start, I would like to mention some rumours that I heard. Workers' Rights Act did not sit well with many business holders, especially the first section about the minimum wages. I heard the same. This has caused these businesses to lose millions of rents just overnight. Unfortunate, really, especially during a recession. What is unfortunate, I think, is that this bill was enacted this late. Let's put our stamp on this conversation. Neither of them responded. Good. Now that that's out of the way, shall we proceed to business? Simon waited patiently. Once everyone was ready, he adjusted his glasses. Oh, it's going to be one of those kind of meetings he's thinking, oh God, President's already angry. But we always listen to Simon because he's written books. He is our resident expert in economics and a book writer, so we trust his judgment in a lot of things. First of all, I would like to thank everyone here for their work on our tax system reform. We all know how complicated our current system is, and this work wouldn't be possible without you. This is almost like a BAFTA acceptance speech. I'd like to thank my cat. I'd like to thank Percy, and wouldn't be possible without any of you. He turned to me. The ultimate goal here is to end the recession. Before we move ahead and start formulating a plan, we need you to determine our direction, Mr. President. We have a few possibilities as a result of the work we have done so far. We can increase maintain or decrease the taxes for large corporations. I believe some of us in the room have a few strong opinions about this. In parallel, we can increase, maintain or decrease these taxes for small and medium business enterprises. Let's start with the large corporations and we'll move to the small businesses after. Okay, so if we increase the taxes for large corporations, what's the outcome? It's not an option at this point. Our economy is in shambles. Taking what's remaining from the businesses will destroy the economy further. Damn. And I trust his judgment, to be fair. We have squeezed him with the bill that we just passed. Have we shot ourselves in the foot by doing that? We could maybe balance it out a bit by decreasing taxes to small businesses to put some relief on them. I see. I'm not sure if that's a good idea with the current state of our economy. I do believe there is one way to get out of recession. It is through the trade and the economic contribution of large corporations. Increasing their taxes will turn them on you. I will go a step further. Increasing their taxes will have disastrous results, and it will make you the enemy. Trust me, Mr. President, nobody wants to make an enemy of them. Oof. I want to say this, actually, to be fair, but... Okay, maybe you're right, maybe you're right. I'm just mulling it over for now. Okay, so what happens in the flip side if we decrease the taxes for large corporations? Oh, everything will be bright and rosy, the recession will be over, and ho ho, happy days. Of course it will. Our government budget will be hit. But in return, due to the sheer size of the economic contribution coming from these companies, it should be helpful in curbing the recession. So what we're getting here is we've got two options. One, we grow our budget, or two, we stop the recession. I mean, I don't think we're achieving both by the sounds of it here. Maybe curb it now and then reap the rewards later. You know, short-term pain for long-term gain. I do think this is definitely a good option if we want to end the recession. So if we put the taxes down on the big businesses, now the big businesses, we've just hit them in the pocket by bringing in that workers' rights bill, right? So, I mean, it's also the small businesses as well, I would imagine. But nonetheless, so giving them a tax relief helps the recession. It gives them a bit of breathing room after we've just forced them to pay their workers more. Kind of balances a little bit, I suppose. We're going to be scuppered for our government budget, but I think we're taking the hit on this one. This is tough. This is a tough one. I think it's a viable idea. Setting an existing balance might be less than ideal. Yeah, me too. You would have the group on your good side on top of solving the recession crisis, Mr. President. I have a feeling I'm being led astray here. Where's Lucian? Okay, I don't like either of these options, but we'll go with, you know, having an ally could be handy. What about if we keep things exactly as they are? Fortunately, that's the only thing we can do at this point anyway. The economy is completely destroyed, Mr. President. I don't know how we'll get out of this mess. Ah, you see, I said that earlier at the start of the stream, JJ. I had a slight rant about that, to be fair. That's one of the first things that I said, because we ended the last session us discussing our budgets, and then when I explained that, I mentioned, oh yeah, quite fitting timing. Okay. Not that it's really going to be any information that's going to be useful to me because it's heavily biased, but what does everyone think we should do? I don't think we can do anything at this point. Although I would have preferred a decrease in taxes, it doesn't seem to be the best option. Our international trade is driven mostly by the products of these corporations. They are the backbone of our economy. Exactly. An increase should be out of the question. These companies are the backbone of our economy and our way out of the recession. Okay. Okay, I'm a bit confused. Is Simon's advice, I don't want to know, I just want to know what the advice is here, because I've misread it, because he was like earlier, I can't go back now, but earlier he was like, yeah, if we decrease the taxes, it's going to stimulate, you know, growth and get us out of a recession. And now he's saying we can't do anything. I don't think we can do anything at this point. So that seems to suggest maintaining taxes as they are. Okay, so I just want to analyse the options first. Increase the taxes for large corporations gives us a +2 government budget. Oh, I see, because we're in debt already. He's like, well, we're going to have to keep things as they are. If we were in a surplus, he might have said we've got scope. I see. Makes sense. Right. Thank you for the explanation. We'll increase the taxes for large corporations and balance it with a decrease for small businesses. Decrease for large corporations. No. Decrease for large corporations and balance the budget with an increase for smaller businesses. No. If we're going to maintain the taxes. Oh, it's like the most boring option, isn't it? Let's keep it the same. Oh, but it's... My inkling is... if I was going to make an option, it would be to tax the large businesses. It's probably catastrophic to do so. I won't go against the advice of Simon, to be honest with you. If he says it's going to be catastrophic, it's going to be catastrophic. Supporting small business is always good, but we're increasing the taxes for large corporations. So we're getting that, but decreasing small businesses could actually stimulate a little bit of growth. It's, you know, in itself, it could promote the smaller businesses. The bigger corporations probably can take the tax hit, but again, we've got the work. I don't know whether it does factor in, but we have increased the rates for workers. But you see the increasing the wages for workers would probably hit smaller and medium-sized businesses harder than bigger businesses. Yeah, option one is just a pure decrease, a pure increase for large corporations, nothing to do with the small. The small will stay exactly the same. Option two we're talking about here. Option two is decreasing for small businesses, increasing for large business, which sounds not too bad, because although the large corporations would, This is where being an economist actually would be very useful. Considering that my Anton Rain is an economist, I'm going to assume he's mulling it over and thinking, you know what, you're right, we can't really do too much at the moment. The biggest way, the biggest way for businesses to get tax cuts is to go green. There's incentives there. Work within the confines of the incentives you've been given. That's what I think, actually. Work within the confines of what you've been given. We give you tax breaks if you're green. Make some green investments. How about that? Rather than anything direct in terms of chopping, changing, cutting, increasing, we'll just go with full, incentivized tax breaks. Right, okay, so we're gonna have to maintain. We're gonna maintain. I think we're gonna maintain. Small businesses always get hit harder. They always get hit harder, don't they? It's really funny because I just sat here and mocked the budget earlier on, right? Within reason, of course. It's still, I think, still a legitimate reason what I mentioned, but then we'll sit here and do the same thing. Strokey beard meeting. If we're going to put down the insurance, national insurance by 2%, what else can we? How are we going to balance that? We could do this. But that's going to upset them people. It's election year. Can't do that then. No. What about this option? Yeah. I think 3 is a kind of a safe place to be. Still in a slight bit of debt. Not really ticking any parties off. 2 promotes small business growth, which is a good thing, I think, actually. Again, man of the people. People tend to start small businesses, as in like sole traders, loan directors, 2 directors, sort of small enterprises, medium enterprises. That's a good thing. Increasing the taxes for large corporations, they could take it. They could take it. The thing that's worried me is that they've said it's going to be catastrophic to the economy. Not the 2. Forget them 2, they're biased. Simon has said it's going to be catastrophic. But is it as catastrophic if we're boosting small businesses? We get a bit of government budget. We offset maybe a little bit of the hit from the large corporations, but they're large corporations, as you said. They're large corporations, bonuses, salaries, dividends, they pay themselves. Oh, Mr. Tusk, you've got to pay a bit more tax. Oh, God forbid. One less cigar to put in your gob. Make an enemy of the large corp. I mean, Walter Tusk already doesn't like us. And what influence does he have over the Assembly? I mean, yeah, balancing it. But I'm assuming balancing it. When he said balancing it, does he mean that he would be fine with increasing large corporations but decreasing small businesses? Because that's balance, if you ask me. I assumed that balance meant number 3. Oh, that's what he meant. Oh! Well, in that case, what was that you're pondering about? Big corporation fat cats with their, with their hey, villas with pools and golf courses. Simon, modest villas, I recall you saying. Yes, you fat cats can pay extra tax. These small businesses get tax relief. We get budget. We offset some of the hit from the corporations having a bit of a paddy about things, and we're all winners. Yeah, 2 it is. Changed my mind. Bloody balanced. Balance is too middle of the road. We're not going to do anything. Look, I had sat here this evening to make no decisions, so I'm making one. Right, I made a decision. They all sit forward. Ooh. Balance is the key. And the way I'm seeing the scales tipping is towards the favour of the small and medium enterprises. So, corporation tax for the large corporations, poof, up. For small businesses, medium businesses, down. My final answer. No lifelines required. Give me £1 million. You are making a mistake. This is going to have outrageous effects down the road. Enough! The President has made his choice. Well then, I have taken a note of our action, and I will put it into implementation as soon as possible. We will be giving people some relief by enacting tax breaks for small and medium businesses, and there will be an increase for large corporation taxes, which will help us sustain our balance. Simon organised a stack of papers he had in front and placed them back in his briefcase. Well then, thank you everyone, that will be all for today. Thanks, Simon. Your words, when I've processed them finally and understood them as they were meant to be understood, were quite the boon. Thank you. But we didn't go against his advice. If he said when he said balance that he would be kind of happy with us balancing the corporation tax increase with the decrease of the enterprises, because we've maintained kind of a balance there, and if that's what he meant, then he wouldn't be overly unhappy. I suspect that he's probably still a little bit unhappy with the corporation tax situation. I would gather, but he's a consummate professional. So they left, and we decided to stay a bit longer, because that was a big decision. But hey, we're going full out anti-Walter Tusk this playthrough. Can't stand the man. Coming in here, barking orders, insisting I drink alcohol in restaurants. Who does he trying to accost me without my advisors present? Who does he think he is? A bloody wealthy millionaire. I went by the windows again and kept watching the sea in the silence for some more time. Sounds like something is weighing heavy on our mind. Right, government budget up to 0, which means that we can possibly afford to pump some money into the highway if we need to. We're hoping we don't need to, but if we do, we've got it covered. Right, I want to do one more turn before 10 o'clock, so come on, let's get cracking. Tax breaks for small and medium businesses. To support and nurture the backbone of the economy, small and medium businesses have been granted a significant tax break. Their tax rate has been reduced from 35% to 25%, 10% reduction, providing them with much needed relief and creating favourable conditions for their growth and development. This measure aims to encourage entrepreneurship, foster innovation, and stimulate economic activity at the grassroots level. Now, again, bearing in mind that my father was a farmer, small, medium enterprise, one might argue, business, farming is a business. It made sense, man of the people, stimulating that kind of growth, getting into, tax breaks, get yourself into business, start your own business, bring something to the table. Yeah, Actually, I'm very happy with that. I'm much happy with the decision now. Actually, come to think of it, if I'd have gone balanced, I'd have been very upset with myself afterwards. Right, situations. Large corporation downsize. Due to our tax increase, major corporations in Scotland are downsizing and reducing their workforce, resulting in a significant number of job losses and leaving many citizens unemployed. Go out and create your own business. Tax breaks. Oh, it's okay. Balance. We balanced it because we've got small businesses that are growing, so it swings and it's roundabouts. I've always preferred the swings myself, but anyway. Right, what else we got? Newspapers. Economist. Economist, what have you got to say for yourself? You got a red and a green. Exactly. 50-50. According to the information we have received, the administration has decided to increase taxes for large corporations by 10% to a total of a staggering 45%. That is high for corporation tax, I will admit, bloody hell. Jesus. This comes as part of the tax reforms to stop the recession. We have shown our analysis of the current economic situation many times, and the result is clear. Large corporations bring in more money, and they are the reason the recession is not worse than it already is. This move serves only to weaken the backbone of our economy. We can't help but question President Rain's real intentions with this decision. Is it just me, or does that line look a little bit more steep? It looks more steep to me than it has done for a little while. Right, Lashaven Times. Torren Hill School wins award. Ooh. Okay, national school rankings have announced their results for the 1955 school metrics. Surprisingly, in the category of primary and secondary education, the Torren Hill School has surpassed all others with the highest average results achieved in the student performance, discipline, facilities, hygiene and staff happiness categories. The Wholesale Post. Oh, did that have a thing? Promoting tighter immigration policies would protect Swordish jobs, shield our people from external market forces. We were... Oh, there was two. Oh, thank you. We were looking at doing that anyway. Tax cuts for small and medium corporations. Okay, it's quite neutral. They're always very neutral, the whole Sword Post. It's a Swordland today that is very pro for us, isn't it? Okay, and Geopolitical. Smolak threatens new military incursions. Oh, God. He's threatened to launch military operations in northern Valen, close to the borders of Swordland and Lesbia, against Bludish rebel group the BFF. In a television interview to Carissa Port for the next month's referendum to extend his presidential powers. Ooh, interesting. Preparing a new internal operation with cross-border implications against the BFF. So the Bludish in Valen. Yeah, I read this about the school award. Yeah, so we didn't finish reading it, did we? That's why I got distracted. Education experts believe that the principal had the head teachers excelled in taking responsibility for their duties, which led to better performance in many aspects. Well, good education news, considering that we have lack of education in a lot of rural areas, at least. So that's not too shabby. An outcome, right, what have we got? Kingdom of Rumburg. Queen Beatrice calls Swordland a threat to world peace. What? A threat to peace in the entire world? Condemns the riots and police violence. This is her excuse to invade, isn't it? I am liberating their people from riots and police violence. I am invading their country for their own good, because their president can't manage things himself. She urged the Rumburgian army to secure the southern border. Oh, that's a ruse. That is a ruse if ever I've heard one. You bitch. Why can't we click on this? ATO Economic Summit in Perla. The hell is that? Oh, it's hosting a summit, a pivotal summit in Perla. Global economy is being discussed. Capitalism. So countries that are adopting this practical model have averaged a GDP growth rate of at least 10% over the past decade. Okay, they're basically pushing capitalism. She's like Putin. Valga, what's happening here? Groony development plan nears completion. This is Gus Manger, right? Yes, Gus Manger was doing this. Keep working, Gus. We need as much as we can get when it comes to anything economic. Right, this is our final act of the session. The highway briefing. The H3 highway construction created a second opportunity to visit the seaside town of Lenkirk, known for its salmon. Yeah, Argentina took the Falklands after the Russian Navy. I remember that, yeah. Looks like I never learned from that mistake. I still want to play another playthrough of Democracy 4, you know. I might play it straight after this, whilst we're in political mode. See if we can practice some of our policies in that game. Practice, you know. Because I feel like I've got unfinished business, because we cocked up that playthrough. When I say cocked up the playthrough, we were happy with our decision making, but it didn't go down quite so well as it did the first time, did it? Anyway, here we are again. We don't like salmon anyway. As we said when we were in the restaurant, we prefer pasta, apparently. But we're not here about the highways per se. We're here about the strike that began to endanger the deadline. What strike? The mayor welcomed us to his mansion and took us on a brief tour of the city. Okay, we gathered at City Hall. Simon looked a bit worried, but Lilius was dead serious. There was also a message of support from the Mayor of Avery, Eric Neal, who was grateful for the H3 investments. After dinner, we moved to a meeting room and Simon began. Taurus Holding has reached out to us and requested more funds. Oh. I flipping knew it was going to happen. I knew it. I could have put at least some significant money down on this happening. I wouldn't put my house on it but I'd have put a significant chunk of cash on it. How much, Simon? As per the report they have sent, to finish the highway on time, they realised more capital is necessary due to the new labour laws. Oh, we've shot ourselves in the foot as well with the labour laws. I forgot about the fact. Oh, it's funny how all the little intricacies intermingle with each other, isn't it? So basically, we need to give them more money because we have introduced minimum wage. That's hilarious. But obvious, really. Okay. We scheduled the construction to finish sooner, but Taurus Holding might miss that target with the current trajectory. Okay. What's the drawbacks to having the project be late? I'd rather it be late than put more money into it, to be honest with you. This is unacceptable. I should have known that a cheaper offer wasn't technically possible. We shouldn't have this issue if you decided to go with the SSC instead of... This is not a game of I told you so, Lilius. We are in a position because we have made... I have made a decision. Okay? The past is the past. We deal with what's in front of us now. Blah, 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 blah. I do not permit incompetence. What? Why do they even need the extra money? Well, he's just told us why they need the extra money. To pay the well, I'm assuming it's to pay the workers, but will anything else they need the money for, Simon? They need it for unforeseen expenses that came from the new workers' rights bill. A couple of shipment companies they had contracts with also increased costs on the necessary materials. The state must have more control over these construction projects. For the next project, we should appoint a direct manager from the cabinet. you know what, Lilius? We might just do that. And then we will have means to compare and contrast. And when it all goes tits up, then I'll bring that to your table. How about that? Huh? One thing is for certain. Our administration must avoid working with Taurus in the future and opt for safe choices, like SSC. Have you not listened, Lilius? Our own workers' rights bill is partly to blame, if you want to call it blame, for this position. So it is as broad as it is long. Underhall could be a partner. Yes, listen, look, things happen, right? Things happen. Maybe, but we could have avoided this issue. There were warning signs around Taurus all along. Will we sink more money into this, or let them figure it out? What is your decision, Mr. President? Okay, now, we didn't really flesh out in any conversation with our advisors here what is the drawback with this being delayed. Not funding this project is not going to make the project not be completed. It is going to mean it is delayed, but will still be finished. But it's not going to look good for us, though, is it? If it's delayed. And we've got a little bit of government budget. And yeah, that's very true. We've got a recession, so we need this quickly to start bringing economic benefits, preferably before we go into partnership with Angland as well. Well, I mean, we can't just sit here and think about, well, what could we spend this money on? Because we know we've got something to spend it on now. We know the benefits of spending it now. So, and we did actually, to get some fiscal breathing room, as chancellors say. Yeah, fiscal closely followed by flipping fiscal drag. Right, let's carry on. Right, yeah, we indeed did set aside some funds for emergencies in this project, as all good presidents should do. So, we've kind of, in our heads, budgeted for this already, Simon. So, give them the additional funds. I'll leave you to sort the intricacies of the details out. Thank you very much. As you wish, I will allocate the funding to Taurus Holding. First they fail to do their job properly, then they get the money? Ridiculous. Regardless, Lilius, the decision is made. Well then, thank you for coming. That is all on this matter. Yes. Let's now enjoy the hospitality of the mayor, shall we? We are a long way from home, and it's been a long day, so I might even allow myself to indulge in a dash of whiskey this evening. Don't let Peter hear hear me saying that. Good grief. In fact, we've not seen Peter for a long time. I wonder if Peter's all right. Is Peter under the patio? Like bloody Brookside. That I'm intending to. We left the meeting room. Oh, stat decreased. Government budget back to -1, but that's fine. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Right, we have no news. We have no briefings, but we have an option here to go to Leiren. Visit an inspection of schools. Right, we'll have one last little quick one. So as part of the planned programme, we arrived in Leiren to visit a middle school. The prestigious Torren Hill School. Is that the Torren Hill School that was first in the exams? Yeah, the award-winning Torren Hill School. The building was flanked by 2 hills, each beautifully dotted with shrubs and flowers. Lucian and Chiara, 2 of my favourite ministers. Lucian, Chiara, and I got out of our cars and met at the entrance. Our presence had not gone unnoticed. Apart from our guards, there were at least 10 reporters following us around. That must be the principal. Right this way, sir? Look at this. Principal. Not even a name. The principal was a man of short stature, with a bushy moustache and a pair of glasses. He approached us quickly, but was stopped by the security guards. They started patting him down and searching him. No. Let them finish. I am the president, and we don't know this man. Guard nodded. Mr. President, such an honor to meet with you. Shake his hand and smile for the cameras. No, we're not here for cameras. We shall shake his hand. Welcome to our humble school. It's good to be here. We don't have to apologise about the standard procedures. He should... If I was approaching a president and I got patted down, I wouldn't be offended. Let's put it that way. So I'm sure he'll be fine. It's good to be here. Excellent. You must be Mr. Gallard. Pleasure to meet you. And Miss Wilder. So good of you to come all the way out here. Thank you. At the entrance, the school's motto was inscribed on the wall in giant letters. In Strettentensis Mexis, which means education is the premise of progress in all societies, in all families. A man after my own heart, Mr. Principal, because hence why I am investing heavily in education. We walked through the gates. There were many students lined up in front of the stairs of the main building. As we entered, the national anthem. How do we address the national anthem in this country? Hands up, hands to chest, thumbs up, smiley winks, I don't know. Just stand in quite, heads slightly bowed. He looks like Abe Lincoln and Hitler had a baby. The principal proudly looked at them. Marvellous, my dear students. After the anthem finished, all of the students immediately snapped to attention and turned to me. Probably just looked at the nearest painting of Saul. Looks more like a military institution than a school. Exactly. That's what we pride ourselves in. Discipline has the utmost importance in our school. I suppose a bit of discipline never hurt anyone. I mean, a bit too much discipline is a bit extreme, but, you know, they've won awards. Clearly they're getting educated as well. Chiara bristled. Up to a point, perhaps. Look at these kids. I can assure you that our students are very well educated. In fact, our school is one of the top 10 middle schools in the entirety of Swordland. Now, we will watch the students take their daily student oath. Oh, God. A boy and a girl went up to the stage and grabbed their microphones. The students turned to them. I am a sword. My strength lies in my blood. I will respect our honourable elders. I will protect the young. My life belongs to Swordland now, and it will belong to it forever. I will always follow the guiding light of Colonel Saul and the great swords. Oh, bloody! Oh, here we go. Here we go. Brainwashed. Amarga Westcar, Vecturn, Sister. Okay, we've got to clap. It's kids. They're doing it for the president, regardless of what we think of all this right now. We can't dishearten the poor buggers. We clap loudly, and everyone joins in. Words to remember. What? No one even remembers it after they graduate. If you wish to follow me, we will take a look at one of our classrooms. Through the hallways, we made our way to classroom 7A. As soon as I entered, the whole classroom rose up and snapped to attention. At ease, soldiers. Sit down, everyone, please. Take a seat, we say, with a beaming smile. The students sat down. The same boy and girl walked up to us. These are our top students and our top class. This here is my son. Oh, is it now? The boy came before me and saluted me like a military officer. Tell me, Mr. President, what you want to be. Oh, no, tell Mr. President, sorry, what you want to be. Mr. President, I want to be a general, sir. I am ready to sacrifice myself for my country and you, sir. Well, there's no need for that. The military's been defunded at the moment. But anyway, it is a bit extreme, this, isn't it? It's like bloody worse than boarding school. But you can't. He's a kid, you know what I mean? You don't want to dampen his enthusiasm. You don't want to pee on his bonfire. So we've got to play along. We'll take this guy aside later. You just want to tone this down a little bit? Good for you, young man. You will make a fine soldier in the future. At ease, General. He'll love it. He'll absolutely love it. Watch, I bet he'll be beaming. Thank you, sir. The principal squeezed his son's shoulders, and the boy looked up and smiled to his father. He patted him on the back and sent him off to his seat. The cameras flashed. This is simply ridiculous. You are raising soldiers here, not students. I am so sorry. I will immediately perform disciplinary actions. How about you, young lady? What do you think about this? She is our top student in this school. Her excellent grades are to... I didn't ask you. Oh, Kiara is not a happy bunny here, is she? She bent down and gently addressed the young student. What do you think about your school? Just between us girls. I'm sick of having to knit and sew while the boys learn science and chemistry. I'm smarter than all of them. Why do I have to take these stupid handcraft classes? Shh. Do you know who you're talking? Shut up. Let her speak. Kiara's presence had emboldened the girl. She went on. Oh God, Kiara's causing a right scene here. My math and reading scores are the best in the school, but they won't let me take the classes I want just because I'm a girl. I want to be a scientist, not some soldier's wife. Bloody hell. Get her. Ooh, now, what approach do we take to this situation? We're not talking about knitting and sewing being important skills for a woman. We can either instruct this man to make the necessary changes at once, or we can commend the girl and applaud her determination. Oof. Oof. I kind of want to talk to the girl more than I want to talk to him, to be fair. But I do want to address this, actually. I do want to address this. Because that's a bit wishy-washy. Yeah, we need more people like you, but more people like you aren't going to get very far if changes aren't made. You can be determined as you want, but if this principal says that you're doing knitting class, you're doing knitting class, aren't you? So actually, no. Mr. Principal, come here. Principal totters up, a little bit short and stumpy, innit? Waddles up to us. Glasses perched. I think you heard the young lady, didn't you? I think change is in order around here. Because I don't know if you've noticed, Mr. Principal, but the whole of Swordland is changing under my regime, and I think this school needs a shake-up as well. Actually, as you wish, sir, at once. I will personally... Lucian chipping in. The three amigos here. I will personally check back and ensure that the changes are made. Indeed you will, Lucian. Well volunteered. You heard him, Miss Principal. You've got 1 month. Tops. Top to bottom changes round here. It's the last time we get invited to a school, isn't it? Yes, sir. Oh dear. The cameras flash, 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 flash. Oh, I can't wait to read the papers later. Bloody hell. What are they going to say? I looked around the classroom and saw a large portrait of Colonel Sol. Oh God. The final final kick in the teeth. Do you know what you can do? You can take that down as well. Oh no, please don't give me that as an option. Oh yeah! Ah, dearie me. Take that down. That can be your first change. Might as well start now. Take it down. Oh, God, that's a bit far. There's one in our office, isn't there? Not in a school though. There's a place for that. Not in a school. We are changing nation. Oh, it seems a bit OTT though. It seems a bit over the top. Take that bloody thing down as well. While I'm here. I'm the president now. I mean, see, he's invited fishermen to dinner. He's a lovely man. Remember, if something you said is an option, you have to choose it. That's very true. It happens a hell of a lot. I say it, and then the game gives it to me. It's happening. It's happened so often in this game. It's starting to happen in Baldur's Gate quite a bit as well. It's almost like, you know what? I know what the game's going to offer me. I might as well just say it. And I did say take it down. Okay. Look, we're talking about just take it down. Take it down. There's a time and a place for pictures like that, and it's not in a classroom. Okay. Sol's curriculum is being overhauled as we speak. Kiara is working with her people on a new one with the additional funding we've procured. So yeah, take it down, please. With the cameras on us, flashing away. The right picture in the radical paper. You know, poor stumpy little principal struggling to reach the painting, having to take it down with the president stood looming over him. It's going to look really flipping great, isn't it? The Conservatives in our party are going to go ape. Oh, I forgot about that. We shouldn't be going too extreme. Bloody hell. Take that down. But sir, that's a portrait of Colonel Sol. Well, we can't just take it down. I did say it was a bit far, but I did say it. It wasn't even in jest, to be fair. I'm not gonna ask. Don't make me. No, this is. I gave you an order. I don't want Lucian to do it, but I don't like either of these. They're quite harsh. Don't make me repeat my. I wouldn't say that. Or that. Lucian? Hey, Lucian piped up earlier about checking in. Lucian's up for this. Lucian loves it. He's on a power trip himself. Lucian, you know what to do. Oh God, this is going to be even worse in the papers. You know, bloody chief strategist of the president removing picture off of wall. Goodness me, this is terrible. What have we done? What was an innocent school visit has turned into a flipping political nightmare. Lucian took the frame down and gave it to the principal. Even the reporters looked confused for a minute before taking many photos of the portrait. I knew this was going to happen. I knew it. And why, Lucian, have I got you to do it, of all people? Your picture's going to be all over the papers. Kira was smiling when she realised I was looking at her, probably feeling a bit anxious, thinking, shit, what am I doing here? Reporters, cameras clicking. Conservative wing are going to go absolutely balmy here. We've got a constitution to pass. And we're ripping down Sol paintings from schools. Oh no. Well then, says Lucia, well, we're almost out of time. Otherwise we'll rip a few more paintings down, piss on a few more parades. But we have other meetings to attend today, and we cannot be late because, hey, I have to be on the precise minute. Holy cow. Thank you for the warm welcome. Oh, Mr. President, Lucian, please go ahead. I would like to speak with the girl alone. Very well. Thank you for the tour. Thank you for visiting our school, sir. He's probably saying out loud in his head, he's thinking, flipping hell, don't invite this guy back again. Jesus wept. Who is Jesus? I don't know. Come on, class. 1, 2. All the students in the classroom yelled, but the boy whom I met was the loudest. Among the West Car. Vector and Sister. After another round of photos, we departed. Oh boy, right, we have to end the session here. But that, Dennis Starler? What's Dennis Starler doing? Oh, he's been arrested. He's been cavorting with Red Youth and he's in Antel Rock prison? Who is he? Oh, he's just a writer. Oh, he's a leader of a party. Oh, he's the leader of a party that didn't get elected. Right, we'll check in. We'll check all the reports at the start of the next session. We're 3/4 of the way through our highway construction project now. We've got an issue here in Leiren, which is the briefing on the proposal of education reform. That's good after our recent visit. That'll go down well. Chiara's going to be happy with us after that last meeting. But yeah, we've got to see the papers. We have to see the flipping papers. What is this thing? Party leaders. Dennis Stahl. Yeah, arrested. In prison. Good. Riddance. Right. Oh. Okay, we've got to read these before I go. The Horsehall Post. President visits school in Leiren. A middle school in Leiren received a special visit from President Rain and Minister of Education Miss Wilder. Students and staff of Torren High School, one of the 5 most prestigious schools in East Swordland, welcomed the special visitors on Thursday morning. President Rain had expressed his wish to visit the successful Torren Hill School and spent the morning talking with staff and students, joining in with lessons and hosting questions and answer sessions with the students. Through this visit, Torren Hill is delighted to have had an opportunity to represent the fantastic job that all staff members have been doing in creating little soldiers. Right, Assembly talks about prayer language. What? Swordish Prayer Language Act. Standardise the language of prayer to Swordish. We're vetoing that, I'm sorry. We're not having that. We're not having that. No, we're straight vetoing that. Not a chance. Swordland today, a new star in Geralt's wine sky. Geralt not Rivia. Geralt of Ribery. A revered dandelion label. The revered dandelion. This is brilliant. Easter eggs here. Dandelion label from Erleroy introduces a new wine carrying forward the rich viticultural legacy of Geralt of Ribery. Wine enthusiasts and critics alike eagerly anticipate the debut of this new vintage, expected to carry the hallmark floral tone and elegance synonymous with dandelion wines. Beyond the pleasure of the palate, this latest edition is expected to inject fresh dynamism into the Swordish wine industry. Dandelion wine. Genius. Right. Oh, hang on, I missed a message here. Blitzkrieg Raider. My God. I recognise your name. Welcome, welcome. The other is Toussaint from Blood and Wine. Economist. Balanced energy prices. Look at that. Remain stable. Positive sign for the economy. That line has definitely gone down now. That's definitely more noticeable. It's gone down a bit more. I think we're taking a short-term hit because of the corporations, I think, is maybe the main issue here. But I think long-term wise, I think we're still in a good position. Energy prices are stable. Member of the Assembly arrested. Mikhail Mussolini from the National Front was arrested for supporting the Young Swords. Oh. Communist Party leader arrested. Dennis Staller, he's been detained with 10 other members. He was terrorist propaganda in the Red Youth. Oh. Ronnie O'Sullivan, is that Ronnie O'Sullivan, is it? I'm assuming. So our ban on the 2 groups has caused quite a lot of stir, because people are getting locked up for association here. Radical. Oh, here we go, here we go, here it is. Here it is. On Friday morning, President Rain and Education Minister Welder visited a middle school in Leighton. Known to be a proudly solaced establishment, Torren Hill School is one of the most popular middle schools in Swordland. During the visit, the President was seen speaking with the pupils and school staff before he ordered the removal of Tarquin Sol's portrait from the building. The reasoning behind this controversial and brave move still stands as an unknown, but it will surely create problems for President Rain with his own party. This event might have very well been just for show, or a sign that there are widening cracks between President Rain and the USP. Or is this a sign that the USP is finally feeling the pressure and opting for a change in their values? Whatever the case might be, the foundations of the USP and the cult figure of Tarquin Sol seem to be losing its strength. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I can't see it's been a good thing. And I knew it was going to happen. There's photographers there, and my staff member is taking down a picture of Tarquin Sol. That, if I thought about it logically, which I did, and still went against my own thoughts, we would have not done that. And we'd have pulled the man aside and said, look, when we've gone, take it down. Alright, just take it down. Lucian is coming back to check on the changes, including the picture. Just take it down after we've gone, if you don't mind. Thanks. Rather than take it down now, and then, no, you're not going to take it down. Well, I'm going to get someone to take it down for you. How about that? Right, here we go. Arcasian PMC is accused of sowing discord in the Eastern Xena. Very good. PMCs. Always reminds me of Metal Gear Solid 4. Right. There is your news. And there is your session for today. I'm not bothered about that. What's our next task? What is our next task? Geralt unveils newest wine and sends message. Oh, what's his message? Mr. Hort Belisord has sent a fine selection to the Maroon Palace and wrote a little note. Wine, like politics, operates not on a scale of lesser or greater, but on a spectrum of nuanced complexity. The distinctions are subjective, the flavours as variable as policy decisions. As a winemaker studies the subtle notes in each grape, a politician must examine the unique shades of each strategy. If I'm to choose between one vintage and another, between one policy and another, I'd rather not choose at all, but rather appreciate and comprehend the intricate interplay each presents. After all, the art of winemaking is indeed politics, lies not in forced choices, but in understanding and celebrating the subtle complexities inherent within. This latest edition is expected to uphold the characteristic floral tones, depth and elegance that dandelion wines are cherished for. Mr. Geralt of Ribbery. I'm pretty sure Geralt said that at some point. May well have done. May well have done. Right, I don't know what our next option is. Oh yeah, it's a briefing on the educational reform, which is going to be quite pivotal. So we've done most of the news, so when we start the next session, we literally have a bit of flim-flam, and then we dive right in, straight in, to educational reforms, which is close to my heart as an ex-teacher, of course. But anyway, there we go. Well, it's 10:30 now, half an hour than I anticipated, but this game has a distinct habit of sucking time away from you, because 1 minute it's 7:30 and the next minute it's 10:30, and you think to yourself, what the hell has just happened? But anyway, thanks for watching, folks. Thanks for taking part as usual and assisting with some of the nuances. Next session, I'm not sure. I do have football tomorrow at 9 p.m, so I have quite a bit of time before I go to football to, I don't know, do a stream, maybe, from maybe like, say, 5 until 7:30, maybe even like 5:30 till 8. So I've got quite a lot of time on my hands before football tomorrow. So I thought, you know what, I'll fill it with something. I'm debating what to fill it with, because any of the 3 games that I've played this week are pretty much open to me. So it depends what mood I'm in tomorrow before I decide what I'm going to play. I'll play with whatever game kind of just jumps into my head that I'm in the mood to play, and we'll see. But stay tuned. I'll get it up probably when I get home from work, which will be round about I don't know, 3 o'clock-ish, something like that. And we'll have a stream of something tomorrow. But anyway, enjoy the rest of your evening, folks. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you soon.